Yeah, let me repeat that for the recording since I just started the recording. So we're going to mix the complements. So what happens when red plus green mixes? And the answer is usually it's a gray, a brown. Although my colors are a little bit different. I have the colors that the people have at home. People in the class have a little bit different set of watercolors. But then again, what happens with orange and blue when they mix? What is that? And what happens with purple and yellow or violet when they mix? So I want you guys to mix this. So just go ahead and start with your red. Put some red on there. It's like an experiment, okay? This is like a little bit of science going on here. Okay, what happens? They should make brown. Mine rarely do with the red and green and these watercolors. I'm not sure if it's just the way that the pigments are made, but like if you were to use paint, it really does make a brown. But red and green make a certain kind of brown, and blue and orange make a different kind of brown. See, mine's just really gray. Okay. So yeah, just keep going. Remember, dirty, clean. So then we're going to do blue plus orange. Might need a little bit more orange and a little less blue. Dirty, clean. You kind of wipe off some of the blue off to the side. Dirty, clean. It makes a nice brown. Might be a little orangey brown here. Some people really have a favorite, like some painters really like the brown that one of these gives them. And so whenever they're painting, they'll just use that combination. It'll be like their special little blend. Okay, so here's yellow. And purple or violet. I'm going to wipe off just a little bit because the violet can overpower. And I know one of my friends who's a painter, she loves this combo of violet and yellow. That's her favorite. Mine looks very green. Yeah, so I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to put a little bit more violet in it to see if I can get it to brown. But if not, that's just what these paints do. This is, like I said, this is an experiment. It's pretty green there, but it's a brownie green. Yeah, the only one that's really good in these watercolors. And remember, we're using inexpensive watercolors. So, but the blue and the orange really make a nice brown. Like when you think of like a tree trunk brown, and painters use brown more than you think that they do. Okay, so go ahead and put that in there, and I'm just going to write underneath it. Mixed together, they make brown. And your set, you might have gotten a brown in your set. That's fine, but sometimes you might want a different brown. So that's a little bit about how painters make brown. Okay? All right, so the next thing we're going to do, kind of move past complementary pairs. We're going to talk about the temperature of color. Okay, so the temperature is either cool or warm. Let's put warm over here. Warm or cool. All right. So the warm ones are just red. You just put them in here. Red, orange, and yellow, right? Those are the warm ones. And the cool ones are green, blue, and violet. Okay, so get those down. And cool. So these colors are warm, these colors are cool, but could a green be a warm green? Yeah, and could a red be a cool red? Yeah. So let's discover that a little bit. Let's experiment. Okay, so I'm just gonna wipe down my mixing plate. You really don't have to get it super clean. It's gonna kind of be half clean mine. So if I have a red, each color can be warm and can be cool. Even though, you know, the basic red, yellow, red, orange, yellow are warm and these are cool, you can have a cool red and a warm red. You can have a cool orange and a warm orange, okay? So if I wanted to make this red a little bit cooler, add just a little bit of purple, just a little bit. Just a little bit, not really changing it to purple or red violet, just enough. And I mean, I am barely touching, just enough. And now I have a cool red. Kind of went like switched teams here. It's not really a line, it's more like a dashed line with over there. Okay, let's try it with green. Get green. So I like to do these little experiments just to see if I can do it. If I can, yeah, what do you add to green to make it warm? Well, you're going to add the one right next to it, yellow. Yeah, it's always the one right next to it. So a little bit of yellow. You might add a little bit more yellow. I don't know. But it'd be like a yellow green, but heavy on the green. Okay, so just a little bit of yellow, little bits at a time. You can see I'm kind of wiping it off so I'm not getting too much. It's not going to be yellow green as much as it's just going to be green with a little yellow in it. Okay, so it's just a little warmer of a green. Okay, so and this is color is flexible, right? We can have some flexibility where they cross over. Okay, yeah. And like blue, if you wanted, we're not going to mix anymore, but if you wanted a warm blue, it would be much more like a blue violet than a blue. Okay. And if you wanted a cool orange, it would be much more like a yellow, yellow orange. Okay. So you kind of can see it's like a continuum, but it's also like a circle. It's really like a circle because purple is over here, you know, just keep going. If the pattern keeps going after purple, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, just keeps going and going in a circle. Okay, so that is about the temperature, the warm, cool temperature. Okay, go ahead and put a piece of paper towel on this. Flip to the next page. Have a few more to do. The next one we're going to do is analogous colors. Analogous. 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 And there's actually a hidden word in here. Analog. You guys know what the word analog means? If you just Google it, there's a couple different definitions. One is a correspondence or partial similarity. Another definition is a thing in which is comparable to something else. Okay. And so we're just going to say partial similarity. They're partially similar. Well, for us, I have a color wheel here. And if, this is one of these, right? Okay. So if we want to know what is similar to yellow orange, it's going to be the ones that are right next door, right? We already learned that these are opposites. So yellow orange is partially similar to orange and yellow. You can go, any single one. It's just left and right. Or, if I said yellow orange, it's really just 3 in a row. See, analogous, 3 in a row. So it could be these 3 here. It could also be these 3 this way. It doesn't really matter which direction you go. So let's just do yellow. Yellow, we're going to do an example of an analogous color scheme. It's like a color scheme. Okay. So we're going to do yellow, yellow, orange, and yellow, green. So let's see. Just put down yellow. Ooh, well, I guess I'm going to do it right there. Yellow. Get my mixing plate. Yellow, orange. So it's 3 colors next to each other. We'll write that down in a minute. Yellow, orange. Nice. That's a nice color. Okay. And then yellow, green. And this is like a color scheme. Maybe a designer would use this in fashion design, or maybe a designer for like home decorating. Of course, in art, like an artist might use an analogous color scheme for their painting or drawing. Right? Very like springy, summery, citrus. Look at that. That's citrus. Okay, so an analogous color scheme is just colors next to each other. On the color wheel. Go ahead and write that down. So the next concept that we're going to talk about is monochromatic color schemes. Monochromatic. Monochromatic colors. And we can break this word up. Mono and chromatic. Yeah, and somebody in class here says one. They knew that mono meant one, and chromatic means color. So I bet you can guess that monochromatic colors have something to do with one color. And what it is, let's just write it here. One color plus its tints, tones, and shades. Just one color, really. And in watercolor, we could do all of them. We're not going to do the tones today. We're just going to do the tints and the shades. Okay. And so we're going to do red. Okay, we're going to do red as our monochromatic. So let me just clean off my plate here real quick. And then we'll get going. Cool. Okay, so we're going to do red. So we're going to put red here just right in the middle. And then we're going to do tints and shades today of red. So with red, I'm going to put some red here down on my plate, my mixing plate. And if we were using acrylic or some other mediums, we would mix white to get a tint. But since we don't have white watercolor, what we can add is water to the watercolor. And that will make it lighter. Okay, so we want to make it lighter over here. So I'm going to just add maybe like 3 drops and see if I can just get it to be a lighter red. That's lighter. And then I'm going to add like 5 drops to get it like the lightest red I possibly can. Maybe 6. Get real light. On camera, it kind of looks a little, or it looks a little the same. Okay. And then you should have in your set a black. Do you have a black in your set? Yeah. So that, add a little bit of water too. Black is really strong, okay? And especially if we were doing this with yellow, but we're not, okay? So get some red down on your mixing palette again, and just the tiniest, ittiest bittiest bit of black. And what I'm gonna do when I add my black, before I add it, I'm gonna just get it wet here, and then I'm just gonna take some of it that's on here and like wipe it off. So that's just less on my, there we go. And it makes it a darker red, right? And then you can add a little bit more black. To make it darker. And if you don't do it perfectly the first time, that's not a problem. If you got like really dark, that's okay. This is all about learning and experimenting how these colors work together. So this is the one color. Let's label that. These are the shades. And these are the tints. Okay, and the tones here, we didn't do the tones. We can just make a little note. Tones is adding gray. We just didn't add gray because we don't really have white, but that's what that would be. Okay, so if I said, okay, I want you to do a painting that's monochromatic, you would just use one color plus its tints and its shades. Okay, so that is the second sheet for today. So here in modules, we have for today, I said color theory part 2. Today's Wednesday, so for A, color theory notes part 2 in class. And here you'll see what we just did, right? Okay. But I want to talk about the psychology of color. Okay. So color can give you different feelings, different emotion. It can express different things. So red could be about urgency or energy. Yellow could be about cheerful, youthful, happiness. Blue could be about calm, confidence, all these different words here. In addition, I have this little chart here. What's really interesting is this chart says calm is green. It also actually says it in blue. The mood is calm. And up here, this one, calm, is in blue. But some people might think purple is calm. Actually, it says calm right there. So it is very subjective. Yeah, yeah, the cool colors are calm. Ah, we just had a little, yeah, that is absolutely right. So I want you to turn, oh, I forgot one thing I want to tell you. Companies use this to their advantage, right? So these are just their logos. But if a company wants to be optimistic, clarity, and warmth, they're going to use yellow. And look, we got McDonald's here, Best Buy, IKEA, Sprint, you know, and you can just look at all the different ones. Look at green. Peaceful growth and health. Well, yeah, we've got John Deere. That's about growth, right? And growing things. Animal Planet, Whole Foods, Tropicana, all about nature stuff. But then we got BP. Okay, why would an oil company, this is a rhetorical question, why would an oil company have a green logo? Maybe they want to help you think that they are helping the environment, right? Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I'm not saying anything about BP specifically. I'm just saying it's very interesting that an oil company would have a green logo. Okay, so it's kind of a cool thing to look at. But what we're going to do in class, this is the last thing, is on top of your color wheel, you are going to write 4 words per color that you identify with that color. Okay, if you think orange is calm, then you write it under orange. Okay, so this is what we're going to do for the last little bit, is write words right on top. And personally, I think blue is calm, but okay, you're going to write 4 words per color. And you can look on Canvas. If you're in the classroom, you can look on your phone or your laptop at home. You can go to this Canvas page and you can look at these different descriptions and to kind of help give you some ideas. All right, I'll put this link in the Canvas chat for everyone.